Chantel D. Christopher. I just did an audition, so I look like a peasant. I had a lot of makeup. But that's one good thing. You want to try to look like the part. And, if I came in with all full makeup and as a peasant, that didn't work that well. Well, welcome back. How my agent, how my agent got me a role on Stranger Things season 3. Okay, part 2 is me sharing with you my journey. Number 1, when I was young, I was watching TV, Good Times, my favorite TV show. And I was in love with Thelma. And the reason why was because my mother's name was Thelma. And then it was just this type of connection in between the two. And so I just fell in love with it. And I was like, wow, I'm not sure what this box is, but this thing called a TV, she's in it. And that's what I want to be in because everybody sees. So that's where my first love came in. Number 2, I started auditioning. I think I was maybe 10, 11 years old. So I started to audition. That's the key. Go out, audition, audition, audition. I did community theater. I did regular theater. I did church plays. I did school plays. Any place I knew they were doing something, I auditioned. Matter of fact, I think my first play was in the Tom Sawyer. I was part of the ensemble. And yeah, that was my first. Did not have not nan line at all. And then the next one I did was West Side Story, and I was part of the ensemble as well. So the experience, wow, it's so funny because since then I've done so many other ensembles, and I even developed to the point that where I had a line. So you may say, well, what does this got to do with getting an agent? You got to build a foundation. That's the key thing. When you go into an agent will most likely always ask you for a headshot and a resume. When they look at your resume tells a story. It's even to the point that when I had Tom Sawyer Ensemble, Greenwood Community Theater, they knew that I had been involved with a theater. Even with churches, sometimes I think when I did churches, I would just call it Mount Moriah Enterprises or Mount Moriah something else, but I would change it up a little bit so it wouldn't sound like a church because it just wanted to be professional. 4 was my first play. 5 in high school. Now, what happened was I went to go try out for the track team because it was so cute boys on the track team. Ooh. So I went out there, tryouts. I think I was out there 10 minutes and I was sweating so much and the man kept telling me to run around the track. I said, why are you not running? I said, I'm not doing this. This is, see y'all cute boys later. I said, they got auditions for a play in the theater. I'm going to go. So I left track practice and then went straight to the theater and auditioned, and I got the role. And that bug just kept staying with me. Not only when I went to the theater to audition, but I also found out that they would go and do competitions. I love competitions. And that's when the bug really got me. And that's when I really was starting to build that foundation. So let's go over them again. I got my paper. One, the first thing I did, where my love came from. It came from Good Times. 2, audition, audition, audition. Audition at churches, audition in community centers, audition at colleges, audition at church. Wherever there's an audition, then you need to get on it. Number 3, how is it supposed to help you to find an agent? Because agents look at your resume, it tells a story, and you need some stuff to put on your resume. Not only that, but it's experience. And number 4 is my first play was Tom Sawyer, and I was part of the ensemble. Matter of fact, I did such a great job, they asked me to come back for West Side Story to audition, and I did. And that was moving and shaking and kept. I think I was part of the ensemble again. I might have had 1 or 2 lines, but that's how I started. And number 5, when I was in high school, I joined the drama club because it was too hot to be outside running track. And that's where I learned all about competition. Went to a competition where you can get scholarships to go to college for acting. I went and got one of the highest awards for a college that was out in Los Angeles. And it was a full scholarship. And I went to my mother, and she simply said, "No. My why I can't go to you trying to stop me from being famous and being fabulous." Mama said, "No, baby, your daddy just died not too long ago. I don't want you going all the way out there to LA. I can't just go up the street to get you or check on you or to see what's up." She said, "That ain't right in my spirit." Now, as a high school student, um, that really hurt me. Because I just said, "Ma, I just went to this competition and I had 5 or 6 colleges that wanted me. And this is the one out in California who gave me a full scholarship. And you said no." I don't hate her for that, but at that time I did. But now I celebrate and understand. I've got to understand. She always prayed that God would lead me the right way. It hurt, but I surrender it. So, number 6, college. So, I went to my mother and I told my mother, well, no, my mother asked me, she said, "Chantel, what do you want to major in college?" I said, "I want to be an actor." Well, my mother took out a sheet of paper and wrote PhD in acting a fool and said, "Now you pick something else. I'm not paying for you to go to college to act out. You hear me?" Oh, Jesus, she better work my nerves. She worked my nerves. So when she said I could not major in theater, I ended up majoring in English and minored in theater. And she said that way, if you want to go teach, you can teach English. If you want to go as an attorney, you can go do that. But she didn't understand my goal was always theater. So at the theater, you still had to audition, and I was the queen of challenge. One thing I loved, I went to South Carolina State University. The thing I loved about Mr. Monday is that he would always allow us to challenge another role if we did not get cast in it. Example, we did the Colored Museum, and I wanted to be the wig, one of the wig heads. I got cast as that role with the girl with the egg. I didn't understand none of that. I was like, I'm not getting this. What's going on with her and this egg? Are they trying to make an omelet? What? So Mr. Monday allowed me to challenge. So I challenged. I think every year in every play, if it's something that I wanted, I would challenge it. And I think when it came, I think it was Blondell Funderburg. I think that's the role. And when I set up a challenge, she said, "Just give it to the girl. I'll take the other one." Because I would challenge her until I won. I just did not care. Why? I did care, but it's like, I just had this hunger. I had this hunger. And there was also several conventions and programs that you could go and audition for certain things. There was one for a summer stock. So that meant in the summertime, they would hire you and you would go out and you would do the show. I got like 5 different offers, and I took one that was in Florida, and they paid for my gas to get down there. They paid for my own, we got an apartment. It was 2 bedrooms, me and this other guy that was in stock. And they gave us per diem, and we lived in this wonderful place, and we did the show, and they paid. That was my first big acting job, $750 a week. Yes. And we had to do 6 shows, seven shows. We had Monday off. It was my taste of what I really wanted. There were other competitions that I was involved in as well, which also assists me with building that resume. So stay tuned for part two, not part two, part three of how I got an acting agent to get me a role in Stranger Things. And trust me, the story gets better, and I will tell you in the next video how I landed my union agent. We'll see you at the movies.